way to Cars and Coffee, but this is a meet that I haven't been to before here on the channel. So this is kind of a smaller group. I've been to it a couple times, and we're gonna see how it do. But as usual, on the way there's some things I want to talk about. So I've been an MR2 owner for a really long time now, and it actually took me a while to get used to thinking about that. I've owned it for a solid 10 years. We're coming up on 11 now. So when I first bought the car, it was already kind of an older car. My particular car is a 93, and I got mine at December of 2006. So it was already a 13-year-old car. And over the course of owning the MR2, I've noticed kind of a shift in the way it's perceived by non-MR2 owners. And maybe the owners themselves, because some of those non-MR2 owners end up becoming owners. Now, I'm sure this varies somewhat depending on region to region, but at least where I am, and I think most of the US, the MR2 was not a particularly popular car. Now, it wasn't like a car that was looked down on necessarily, but it just didn't have the fan base that a lot of other cars at the time did. You know, people were really excited about the Evo or the Supra. That, of course, was a really big one. But the MR2 was kind of this forgotten car, or was not seen as tunable or as exciting or cool or what. I'm not exactly sure. Now, part of that could be that there just weren't a lot of them out there. So, you know, there weren't as many owners to be excited about it. But, you know, you could say that about any lower volume car, and there are plenty that are still really desired. What the heck is in the middle of the road? Okay, sorry. So I noticed that MR2 owners would kind of, I don't know, have sort of a chip on their shoulder almost. Or they would feel like they needed to justify the MR2. Like, people would ask what kind of car they had or whatever, and they'd be like, oh, I've got an MR2. And then they would proceed to list reasons of why the MR2 was great. You know, like they had to defend it or something. And a lot of other car owners, you know, you wouldn't do that. And nowadays, I've noticed that the MR2 has become much more popular in the mainstream. And by mainstream, I still mean car people. Because the vast majority of like the true mainstream don't really know anything about it, and probably always thought it was cool because it's a really nice looking car. I know that I would always get compliments from people, and people would ask what it was and that type of thing if they weren't really car savvy. But nowadays, pretty much anybody who is a car person thinks the MR2 is really cool. You know, I get people like old owners who come up to me and say, wow, I really like your car. I used to have one of these. I regret getting rid of mine. I have, you know, of course, still all the random people, you know, kind of ask what it is, or say, wow, it's a really cool looking car. And now more of the general enthusiast asking what it is and being impressed by it. You know, especially when they find out the mine's swapped or other things that have done to it. Oh, we've got a lot of construction up here. So it seems like people have a lot more respect for the MR2, or see it as a desirable car, sort of aspirational, than they did in the past. So I would like for you guys in the comments to let me know why you think that's true. Or maybe you've never noticed this at all. Maybe it's just me. It's only been the weird people and myself that I've encountered. But if you've noticed this too as sort of a trend of the MR2 becoming more popular, let me know why. And just as some examples beyond like my own personal anecdotes, I can show you why I think the MR2, or how the MR2 has become more popular. You had the wide body Red Devil MR2 that really brought it out as a noted car. Shout out to Armand if you're watching this. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you definitely haven't been an MR2 owner for very long, but look up that car. I've also noticed just a lot more reviews of the car online in recent time, and I've noticed more of them showing up at car shows. So this is evidence that I can see of the MR2 being more popular. So let me know if you've noticed this trend of it becoming more popular as well. And with that, we are here. Okay, I admit that was a shitty parking job, but I was lining myself up with the car next to me. Didn't expect to see this out here today. Didn't really expect to see that NSX either. Drove up behind me. This is definitely a very rare sight.